Welcome everyone to some more Maplestory. Today is just going to be one of those casual stream days where I just, do whatever I want and then, and then end it. Well, I just talk about a bunch of other things throughout it. Yeah. Basically, casual stream. Kind of want to change it up since I've always been doing art streams whenever I want to be casual, and I have days where I get art block and don't feel like drawing, so and that is what I'm going to do today. And it took me about 30 minutes to prepare for the stream today because I was trying to figure out which character I want to level up, and it doesn't help that I have so many characters. And it's kind of hard to choose, especially since I want to mostly level grind on the stream. Yeah. So anyways, there's also some quests I wanted to do in this area that I didn't get to do yet. So we're gonna start here. And also, I haven't played my Wild Hunter in ages. Well, actually, in fact, I didn't really play a lot of my characters in ages. Since I've been mostly focused on my main, trying to get to the highest level to get the Arcane River content unlocked, because you have to be a ridiculous high level to unlock anything in that area. I pressed the wrong button. And I can't press. There we go. This is gonna be a while because I actually haven't played this class in a while. Okay, I had to figure out how to play again as well on this character, so. Yeah. And also, this is a Monday, so I don't really stream on Mondays. I streamed last week on a Monday because I finally reached Esfera, the level requirement for Esfera last week. And I wanted to unlock it so I could start doing the dailies and getting the orbs, the arcane symbols. Oh yeah, that reminds me. So, about Esfera, the storyline, I actually looked it up a bit. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. Anyways, I looked it up a bit, and yes, the dialogue differs depending on which class you picked. And of course, the dialogue that played in my stream, like when I played as my character, the dialogue there is tailored to a Grandis class character. I'm not sure if there's actually different dialogue if you're a different Grandis character, because from the looks of it, it looks like it was more tailored to Grandis in general, so no one specific. Oh, it's this minigame. Where you have to be careful a bit. Okay, let's get out of this minigame. Also a lot of EXP from this. Oh yeah, I still have this because I think I created this character during a burning event in the game. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Anyways, so about Esfera, the dialogue is tailored to whichever class you're playing when you reach the level requirement to unlock the story. So for me, I play as an Angelic Buster as my main, and I leveled her to 235. And of course, the dialogue is tailored to Grandis class. And I did look it up, but like I found someone who did the storyline as well, but on a Phantom, and the dialogue is tailored to the hero, to that character. And I'm assuming for the legend, I'll just call it legend classes because that makes the most sense. Also, from what I've seen, like based on the dialogue I've seen, it seems like the legend classes have different dialogue among each other. Because from what I've seen, through the Phantom version of the dialogue, the unique stuff, like he specifically mentions Luminous, so yeah, that's like one giveaway. And okay, I sort of did see the version if you did play as a Zero class, but the one I've seen was in originally Korean with the English translation, so I'm not too sure about that one. But obviously I know it's different because Will's involved, and obviously Zero will react to Will, but I obviously don't know, like, I haven't seen the global version translation, so. So yeah, that's what I learned between the Maple streams. And I like when the stories have those little differences among the classes, like to show that it's not like you know, kind of weird. Like if they kept the same dialogue among all the characters, it's kind of weird how the Grandis characters wouldn't react to knowing Iona, because that would be kind of weird. It's like they wouldn't know, and it's like they're from I can't speak today. They're from Grandis, and it's like it would be weird if like the dialogue is tailored to like everyone, and they're like don't even know who Iona is. So like it would create plot holes. But of course, the downside of it is like with something like this is that like areas like this, you have to, like at the Arcane River, you have to be a very high level to see these differences. And it's kind of lucky for when Tenebris and the Glory update happened, both of those updates, like they did an event version of the story, so it's, you know, was like no trouble to see the differences if you have multiple characters and the time to actually explore every single dialogue. That's different. Anyways, let's talk about... Actually, that was mostly what I wanted to say when I reminded myself of it. Because I did find it interesting. Like, I knew it had, like, some of the dialogue in Esfera was tailored to whatever class you played as. Well, it's more like small bits, but, you know, it still counts. Like, to being different. Also, speaking of which, I really want to start like grinding my main character to level grinding my main character to well, obviously 240 and then the other levels as well. But of course that's going to be a long time because there's no way I can reach well, in terms of doing everything, there's no way I could reach level 255 that easily. Because, as you know, it took me ages to even get to 235 in the first place. So, it will take some time before I actually am able to explore all the Tenebris regions. I mean, obviously I'm gonna do the quest immediately when I unlock them, but to experience the whole thing, I had to level grind to 255. And of course, it will be a while until I reach at least 240, so, you know. You know, like, the more I think about it, last year itself, I actually did 3 regions of Arcane River, like, on my main. Because, I actually started off the year, like, leveling to 220, and I kind of purposely did that because I was, I didn't even buff myself. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, last year, 2020, I started off the year leveling to 220 in Maplestory on my main, obviously. And of course, that was also around the time Cernium Part 1 of this one quest. Wait, was it Part 2? I forgot which one, but it's on YouTube, my YouTube channel. That I also did Lachelaine on that day. And then... how many months was it? Like, January? Okay, so like around April, I reached 225. And I did Arcana region. And then around late July, or like August? I don't remember the month anymore, but around the time I got to 230 and did Morass. And of course, like, it did seem like pretty quick, like short amount of time of me leveling up. But I mostly, like, at least a couple of my levels there was like growth EXP potions, so it saved me the trouble of grinding at the time. Okay, I don't like these enemies slowing me down, it's kind of annoying. Anyways, what else to talk about? Oh yeah, and also, as I mentioned in my Esfera stream, I did kind of want to try to, like, originally try to, like, consider grinding every single day to get to 235. But of course, as you know, that didn't happen, because, well, mainly because I got busy since, you know, since I did Morass in August or something. I don't know when exactly. Again, the VOD's on YouTube, so the date of when I streamed is on YouTube, like, in that description as well. So, yeah, I got busy in, obviously, real life, that I couldn't really level grind, so it pretty much, yeah, delayed on that. But, at the end of the day, as long as I at least have, like, reached that goal, it's fine. So, it's not too much of a big deal. And also, level grinding, for me, is like, at level 235 is really boring. Because, you know, you're really high level, and you get at least, like, after maybe, like, a while, you get at least, like, only a couple, like, percentage of EXP out of it. And I did say, like, every EXP counts, and it does, like, when you're above 235, but it's also, like, takes a long time. And also that reminds me, it's like, how do some people even manage to level to, Okay, sorry about that. I saw something on my phone and I had to get rid of it. Anyways, so... where was I? I kind of forgot. So yeah, level grinding is very time consuming, and of course I would have to have a lot of time and to actually do that, to level and all that. I did think, like, originally my plan before was at least grind to like 10% per day. of course, that quickly, doesn't happen anymore because that's a lot of time and effort. Although I am trying to figure out ways to kind of like organize my time and try to level my character now, so I can actually get to the other content in Arcane River and stream it. And also I can't wait too because I'm purposely avoiding the YouTube videos on Salas, the additional dungeon added in Arcane River. So, you know. Anyways, okay, is there anything else other than Maplestory that I would like to talk about? I don't know. Technically, like, what's going on now, it's like, for me personally, it's kind of slow, just like, nothing too interesting these days. Although I will say, I'm about, like, okay, like, so I finally got around to watching the rest of Trails of Azure. And if no one knows what that is, basically, there's a franchise called Trails. I got into the Trails franchise in 2019. I will admit I did watch Cold Steel first, and then had to go, like, okay, I have to check out the Sky Trilogy and Crossbell Duology of the franchise, because the entire universe of Trails is massive. And there's a lot of references to the previous two arcs of the franchise. And they have a huge involvement in Cold Steel 3 and 4. And of course, yeah, I kind of watched Cold Steel 3 like bits and pieces without any knowledge of the previous sagas. I mean, I did have some knowledge, like at least the characters, but I didn't know too much, so of course I didn't know a lot. And I did see Cold Steel 4 because I did end up, like, a bit of it, not too much. Because of the ending of Cold Steel 3 pretty much, like, breaking me, emotionally. So, yeah. And originally, like, when I finally decided, oh yeah, that was also something. Now that I remember. So the reason why it was so hard to start the trilogy, like, from the beginning was because of what happened in Cold Steel 3. I'm not gonna say it, but if people know, they know. And, yeah, it made kind of, like, having to go back to the beginning a little hard on me because of what happened to specific things in the story. And yeah. However, I did recover from the ending, and I kind of intentionally spoiled myself of a particular thing in Cold Steel 4 because of Cold Steel 3, and it made it less it made it more easier to experience the entire franchise in order now. Although I didn't really get the 100% confirmation until August of 2020, though. Anyways, so the original plan with the whole, like, experiencing the franchise, I was going to do that at the beginning of last year, but then I didn't, so. And I continued to delay it and delay it. I think I kept delaying it until they announced Cold Steel 4 in English. So that's when I finally got around to watching it. The Sky Trilogy, and go from there. Although, to be more specific, because I knew about, like, you know, at least the first few hours of Cold Steel 4, I wanted to wait until, like, we get to hear, like, English voice actors for the for characters in Cold Steel 4. So when I actually started watching the entire franchise, like in chronological release order, technically it is chronological order in general because, yeah. But anyways, wait, where was I? Why do I always forget what I'm talking about? Anyways, okay, I remember. Okay, so yeah, I waited until like the voice actors were revealed. Well, like not by name because they couldn't, because probably an NDA. I don't know. One of the voice actors vaguely mentioned it, and it was pretty obvious, but I don't know. I don't know about the NDA with NIS America, so I'm not gonna delve into that. But anyways, so okay, I'm gonna go to the next map here. So anyways, yeah, I chose to wait until we knew the voice actors of some characters because from what I knew in the Sky trilogy, the two main characters, the protagonist and the antagonist of the Sky trilogy, well, more like the first two Sky games because they weren't a focus in the third game. The third game was more of a guiding game, by the way, like a side game. So, but part of the main series. So from what I know, the English version of Sky had voice acting in the battles. And at some point, like after I did kind of watch Sky before I seen a bit of Cold Steel 4, so I did know the characters a tiny bit at the time. But anyways, so when I did see a snippet of Sky, initially, I learned that the English version had voice acting, but only for the battles. So they only have battle dialogue, like that is voiced, and all that. So, how do I put this? Okay, so basically, when I knew that, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then also I heard the characters speak. And when I heard them speak, I noticed that the two of the main characters, as I said, the protag and duratag, they have professional VAs, voice actors. And I found it surprising because they actually got these two professional VAs to voice only battle lines in the entirety of Trails in the Sky. And of course it's shocking because it's like they really got someone just to voice like a number of lines. And there's like no full voice acting for dialogue. I found that interesting. And also like, because I knew about that, I was wondering if those voice actors were going to reprise for their later appearances in the franchise. Because, like, you could just get, like, professional VAs for, like, a couple lines and never, like, bring them back, again. So, I kind of waited until their voices were revealed in their, reappearances later on. And it was worth the wait because when those trailers came out, I listened to them, and it wasn't until I read the comments because, you know, there was a gap in time between when they voiced the characters, obviously, and, like, voicing in Cold Steel 4. So, so when I heard them, like, I sort of recognized it at first, but it didn't click. And when I read the comments, I was like, it is the same voice actors, and I got so happy. I know some of the other characters have different VAs, but it's kind of understandable. In some of those cases. But for these two in particular, I was happy that they reprised. Maybe because, you know, professional VAs, and it's kind of like weird that they get professionals to voice only like a very small number of lines. Like that was battle dialogue and all that. Yeah, so that's a bit something. And And also, like, after I, you know, knew about that confirmation, that's when I started watching the franchise in chronological order, which was around August of last year. And of course, that was also around the time I got, to level 230 on my main in Maplestory. Did I ever I don't even know if I talked about this in one of my Maple streams. Well, partially because 2 hours of me playing Morass was muted. My mic was muted, so that really sucked. So yeah, and so I started watching the Trails franchise in August, like in chronological order. And I am about to re-experience the Cold Steel games. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna continue on the story a little bit of like me watching all this. So I will admit that I did only watch playthroughs of Sky and Crossbow arcs, sagas, whatever. And okay, let me go get a new area real quick. What? I didn't add this. Okay, there we go. Of course. Hey, since I'm lazy, teleport back. Let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna ignore the quest here because I don't want to go through, like, the cutscenes and all that on stream. Which is why it was so difficult to choose a character today, because I didn't want to go through the dialogue, over and over again, and go through the cutscene. Okay, let's go add some points here. Okay, let's go to get this started real quick. Okay, also to point out, I did these stories in Maplestory several times. I have like so many characters. So it's fine if I skip the dialogue. Anyways, so continuing on me talking about Trails because I'm more or less a huge fan of it, of the franchise now. So yeah, I will admit that I did watch playthroughs of Sky and Crossbow. For real Sky, mainly because I didn't have enough time and dedication to play the games myself. And at the time, I wasn't, like, considering wanting to spend so much money on games, so that's why. And, the choices don't really, like, there's not really any, like, impactful, like, choices in the game. Like, in terms of, like, you know, bonding with characters and all that. So I think I was, like, discussing how, like, I didn't, like, actually play Sky and Crossbow. Mainly because, you know, I didn't want to spend so much on video games, naturally. And so I watched them on YouTube because there were, like, unlike Crossbow, well, I mean, Crossbow I had to watch a playthrough with, like, someone making their own choices anyway. But then at the end of their playthrough, they ended up showing off the other special events. So it's kind of a little different there. And for like Sky in particular, there were no like specific choices, like showing like little differences and all that. I mean, from what I know, it's like there is like a couple of them like kind of changing like dialogue, obviously, but it wasn't like extremely impactful or anything. So it was pretty like easy to just watch a playthrough. Oh, and also, again, even if I could buy the games, I didn't have enough time in my own personal, well, time, to actually dedicate myself to playing, like, I don't know how long the games are. They're pretty lengthy, so that's kind of why. I don't have enough dedication to play games that were so long, so I just watch playthroughs. And it was fun, like, to experience all of it anyway. And also, like, after I did watch the Sky trilogy, I ended up watching the voice trailer again for Cold Steel 4. Like, after I watched the trilogy, I got so excited to see these characters, like, how they appear in a later game. I just freaked out. It was a different feeling. And also, like, the first time they're voiced outside of battle, so it was also the first time I was just hearing them talk without, like, outside of battle, and, like, hearing them speak normal lines of dialogue, and it made me, like, I know it's so simple, but it just made me fangirl, like, so much. And then, of course, after a while, I did get a bit lazy, but, like, okay, the thing was, with the Crossbell duology, as of the time I'm streaming this, which is March 8th, there has been no official localization for the Crossbell duology, which are the games, Zero no Kiseki and Ao no Kiseki, which have commonly been translated to, by fans, Trails from Zero and Trails of Azure. Azure? I don't know. The word's interchangeable. And I had to watch a fan-translated playthrough. And the person I watched it from, like, used a fan translation patch. And that was, like, the best way I could experience the story without having to just, like, experience, like, a 30-minute video explaining what happens. I will admit, I did kind of skim through the playthrough a little bit here and there, but not too much because I still had to pay attention to, like, bits of the story. I will say it was a difficult experience because trying to watching a fan translation and knowing, like, inconsistencies with officially spelled names was, like, it was something. And also I know some of the names, like, I did see a bit of Cold Steel 4 in English, and I've seen, like, I didn't see too much because I didn't want to be too spoiled by the game. But I've seen, like, enough to know, like, the actual spellings for some of the NPC names from Crossbell. So, like, yeah. But yeah, it was fun to actually experience Crossbell. I will say, when I did see, like, a tiny bit of Cold Steel 4, well, when I saw it a second time, I originally considered wanting to watch, like, a couple hours of the English version, but I wanted to prevent that because I want to play the games, play Cold Steel myself, like, all 4 games. And if I kind of expose myself too much with the beginning, it will get to the point where, you know, it kind of drains from me, like, having to re-experience the exact same content again. So, like, the best way to avoid that is just to not be too exposed to the game. Cold Steel 4 specifically. Because Cold Steel 4 is the only Trails game I actually have no proper experience watching it. I did watch Cold Steel 3, but it was mainly the main story, like, it was the main story of the game. Like, so I didn't really see too much of, like, the side content. Which is obviously a mistake, but to be fair, I wanted to play the game myself, so I didn't want to see too much of the game. Although it's kind of weird to say that because, you know, I obviously have seen the ending of Cold Steel 3, so... And also, like, and of course when I say that, I did see a fan translation of 4 before, months before it was announced in English. I didn't see too much of that. I just saw, like, a little bit just to know who returned in the first hour of the game. Also, Cold Steel 4 is very lengthy. It's like, this playthrough from this person I follow, obviously I did not watch it. I avoided it like crazy so I don't get spoiled. But, like, last time I checked, I don't know if their playthrough's done, but they've done 18 streams with 7 hours each for, like, 7-8 hours per stream. I know they play the game slowly, like, they take their time with the battles and read all the dialogue, but still, like, they've been playing the game for 18, like, stream sessions of 7 to 8 hours. And that means their playtime with the game is about 144 hours. Or maybe, like, an hour less, because when they first did the stream, when they started the playthrough, they didn't even press play yet, so... Yeah. And they took, spent 30 minutes talking to the chat at the time. But still, like, the game is so long. I know he took his time, but I know some people who, like, probably took just as much time, but maybe less reading the dialogue, and it still took them a pretty long time to beat the game. So it's like, that's insane. So yeah, whenever I get around to that point, which will be definitely more than maybe a month or two, because, like, soon enough, I'm actually finally going to start Cold Steel 1. I've already seen it, but I'm re-experiencing the entire franchise in chronological order, release order specifically. So, like, I just finished the Crossbow duology, so now it's going to be the Cold Steel saga. Cold Steel quadrilogy. Tetralogy? Tetralogy? Whatever the word is for, like, 4 games. Yeah, I can't wait. I will say, like, yeah, again, watching the Crossbow duology was difficult. Like, weeks, like, at least a month ago, I was supposed to be done with Azure, but I kept delaying it over and over again because I kept being so lazy trying to watch it. And, yeah, I finished, like, Zero no Kiseki, like, watching a playthrough of that around October of 2020. And I started Azure at the time. Like, I only watched one part of the playthrough. Or was it 2? I don't know. I did try to watch the rest of it, like, before 2020 ended, but I didn't because I got so lazy. However, it's a good thing I finally got around to finish watching that, because, like, I wanted to get started with Cold Steel so I could start making progress leading up to Cold Steel 4. And speaking of which, I'm getting the Switch version of the game, so I actually don't have my own copy yet. And of course, as you guys know, like, why didn't you get PS4 or PC? Well, I was considering PC, but when I saw the Switch version, I was like, I want more Switch games. So that's why I ended up getting the Switch version instead. Oh, this minigame. So yeah, I have the Switch version of Cold Steel 3, and we'll be getting the Switch version of Cold Steel 4 in about a month, I think. Because it's coming out August, not August, April 9th. What am I saying August for? But yeah, April 9th is when the Switch and the PC version come out for Cold Steel 4. So yeah, I'll be getting my copy next month. From, obviously, the day I'm streaming this. Yeah, so hopefully soon they should be, like, emailing everyone who pre-ordered about it, so... yeah. I cannot wait. I really... well, I mean, I'm not gonna play the game immediately. I still have to play 1, 2, and 3 myself. And also the reason I just... like, originally I was going to just watch playthroughs of 1 and 2 again, but from other people. But I was like, nah, I'm just gonna be salty with choices, so I might as well just play it myself. Which is a good choice, because, you know, I'm definitely gonna be salty, with choices. Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much there, because people are gonna be like, oh, you picked this choice instead. I'm like, okay, we're not going there. And also why I will not do actual playthroughs of the games, because of that exact reason. It's like, people will get salty over my choices, probably, so... But yeah, I can't wait to get started with 1. I am going to use the AP guide for the Cold Steel games, because I am bad at actual specific choices that give me like you know, like 100% completion, I guess, for like quest stuff. And also the idea is that because I've experienced 1 and 2 completely, I want to like kind of play through those games quickly so I could get to 3 and take my time. Oh yeah, and anyways, I forgot to mention, like, with the crossbow duology, of course, yeah, it took me a long time to watch Azure, specifically. Like, I did watch Zero no Kiseki pretty quickly, but then watching the second game in the duology, it was pretty difficult, because I was a little impatient. You know, it's just really hard to watch a fan translation, because the person I watched did not read the dialogue, and it was all Japanese voice acting. And, it kind of brings up to why I don't like... why I prefer dubs, because, like, in this case, like, it was so hard to pay attention, because I didn't, like, I could not bring myself to stare at my screen for who knows how many hours reading the dialogue to myself. Like, kind of why I prefer dubs is so I don't have to read so much. Like, it's kind of why, like, for, like, some visual novels, if they only have Japanese voice acting, that it kind of bores me a little bit, because, like, you're, like, it's like you're sitting there at your computer for, like, hours reading text on a background that doesn't even change. So it's like... it's kind of the same feeling, except it's more engaging, since, you know, Trails is more than just, like boxes of dialogue, so... But anyways, yeah. But I still enjoyed Crossbow. Like, I'm happy that I got to know what happens. And of course, it really sucks that the Crossbow duology has yet to be localized. Of course... if it does get localized in future and people watch the stream again, it's gonna be like a weird, not really weird, it's just gonna be a moment of, well, that aged well, because, you know, well, yeah. So, yeah, hopefully Crossbow gets, localized very soon. And also, with the Crossbow being released for the PS4 in Japan, that should give a higher chance for localization. Of course, it wouldn't be easy because, you know, the games are, like, filled with pages upon pages of dialogue. So, it'll take a while. Oh, naturally, yes. Also, I think, I don't know if it's true, but it's like, I think the script for the Crossbow duology is just as long as, like, one of the Cold Steel games. I don't really know. I did try to look up, like, games with the longest, like, scripts, like, in terms of how many words are in it, but, like, I may have to look it up again, because I actually don't know if, the Crossbow duology has as much as one of the Trails games. I mean, one of the other games, or not. I'll have to look it up again. But I did see something like that, because people said that the script for Cold Steel 3 was really long, so it got me curious at the time. Also when okay, I'm repeating myself. But when I think about it, like, some people would say it's like, why did they not add more voice acting to some parts of the games? It's like, I think in reality there is actually quite a lot of voice acting already. It's just that, like, you would encounter more side quests or like additional quests that don't have voice acting compared to, like, the main quest, I guess. I can't wait to start Cold Steel. I just want to get started, but I'm also like, oh boy, this is gonna be a wild ride at the same time. Oh yeah, and also speaking of the Crossbow duology, so the person, I think I mentioned this earlier, that the person I watched play Azure specifically, Trails of Azure, they actually showcased the other unique scenes with the other party members in the game. Like, where, like, you know, the ones with the girls are very romantic, ship teasy, and the guys just, like, it's just lore, which I don't mind. Actually, one of the girls had lore tied to her scene, like, know her story more and all that. But what I find interesting among the girls is that, like, okay, they're just like, yeah, there's 4 girls that are, like, party members in Azure, and in it, 3 of them have, like, okay, you have, like, the occasional ship tease and, like they're in the moment, as well as them talking about their, you know, own lives and all that. But then you have, like, the 4th one, and her scene just outright had, like, a love confession, and he kisses her on the cheek, and it was like, you know, the developers obviously favored her as the canon love interest. I'm pretty sure she is the canon love interest, like the canon default love interest for the protag of Crossbell. Like, you could tell the favoritism in, like who is the canon love interest based on something like that. And I couldn't get that out of my head for, like, a few hours, because I was like, the other scenes were cute too, but then you see hers, and it's like, it just explicitly just screams, yep, she's the canon love interest. Oh my god, I just want to keep talking about that. But I shouldn't, talk about it so much and all that. I just can't get over that. Just like, oh, you have the other girls, they have cute ship teas, like, okay, and all that stuff. But then you have her and it's like outright, like Like, they confess I love you to each other, and then he kisses her on the cheek, and they hug, basically, and it's like, yep. I find that little detail so interesting. I'm trying to think about it. It's like, I'm trying to think about something else, and I'm like, I don't 100% know if the same thing happens in the Cold Steel Saga, because I know who the canon default love interest is. I'm pretty sure it's kind of obvious, considering I've been liking the fan art of it more than anything else in related trails. But we're not gonna go there. But I will be doing that, picking those choices in my playthrough of Cold Steel, because I want to see them. I want to see, like, if it's like the same with Crossbell, with how they, like, you know, made it very obvious. I mean, I know the main story naturally has moments like that, even if you made different choices. But I just want to see, like, the specifics. And I will say, I did at least see one of their moments scripted in the main story in Cold Steel 4. Although not too much, because, you know, I've been, like, it was only like a glance, like a small glimpse of the scene. So I don't really know too much of anything. And also, if I remember, like, someone, when I did watch playthroughs of Cold Steel, like, the person playing, like, even, like, he obviously could tell, because the two characters have, like, their own special, like, themed, DLC outfits. Oh yeah, and speaking of DLC outfits, I obviously did not bother with DLC with, Cold Steel. I mean, there was Cold Steel 3, but I got that for free because it came with the pre-order of the limited edition, so. But for 1 and 2, I don't really care for DLC outfits because I just want to play those 2 games. Yeah. Thinking about it, I want to get around to playing Cold Steel. I want to see those moments. I want to see their moments and see, like, the differences and all that. And also, speaking of, like, Cold Steel and, you know, the choices that you can make to see the special scenes, I will say, one of them, like, I don't really consider it so much. Like, I will say it is pretty cute, but the thing is, their voice actors voice 2 characters in a franchise, well, it's more like just a trilogy series. They voice, like, 2 characters in a trilogy series called Zero Escape, and, I will say 999, okay, 999 has voice acting in, the, later releases of the game. And, 2 of the voice actors voiced those 2 characters from Trails. And, because of a reveal in that game, whenever I hear them, like, voice any 2 characters in, like, okay, how do I put this? Okay, let me back up a bit. So, like, after a reveal, whenever they talk, like, I'm just, like, aware of that. Aware of that fact from Zero Escape. And don't worry, I know, like, actors are not the characters. It's just more like characters, like, it's more like just a situation of characters and other characters from other games. Like, to the point is, like, when I hear, like, these 2 characters in Trails talk, I remind myself that the 2 characters with the same voices, from another game, and I'm like, because of, the situation in Zero Escape, the first game, the, reveal, I'm like, I cannot ship these characters in Trails at all because of it. So, it's a bit silly, but it's like something that just easily stuck in my head because I know that they have the same voice. So, I don't want to delve into that because if I do, like, I would probably end up spoiling what it is in Zero Escape, and I don't want to give spoilers. as we are in a spoiler-free zone. We do not speak of spoilers. And if you do, I will be very, very upset. And speaking of which, yeah. I do have to be careful with talking about, like, some things as well, because I don't want to just, like, talk about, like, a series I got into, and people just outright be in the chat like, oh, hey, this happens, and then leave, because that's not fun, you know? Like, I don't like being spoiled in that way, okay? Anyways, what else? Oh yeah, I can't wait to see the choices in Cold Steel, but of course I have to, naturally wait until I get to that point. Because, you know, I haven't even started Cold Steel 1, and it's still going to be a while before I do all those, like, little events and all that, so... yeah. And also for Cold Steel 1 and 2, I will kind of play the game on the easiest difficulty, because I mainly want to, like, go through those two games as fast as possible. However, for Cold Steel 3, I will purposely play it on normal, as well as for Cold Steel 4, because, like, for those two games, I'd rather just take my time. The only reason I would play really easy on the first two games is because I already experienced the story in those games. Okay, let's go to the next area. Yeah, so like, if it ain't obvious, if it isn't obvious, yeah, Trails has been on my mind for a few days. I might end the stream in 30 minutes or so, because this is just gonna be a short one of me grinding levels on my character here and talking. To play Cold Steel right now. I think I might, like, after the stream and after I get some additional work done, I'm going to actually watch, okay, I didn't even press that button. I'm going to actually start playing, Cold Steel 1. I have no idea if I accidentally said I'm going to watch Cold Steel 1. No, I'm going to play the game. Also, I can't wait. There's like a lot of familiar voice actors in Trails now, so of course I'm not gonna hear even more of them until Cold Steel 3 and 4. I think 4, because there's a lot of character reappearances in that game, so a lot of voice actors. Also, actually, I was gonna say something about something, but I'd rather just wait until I get to Cold Steel 4 and figure it out, because I've heard something about a change, like, or something, like, between games, and like, between the Trails games, like, for, like, something, but I don't think I don't know that for sure, and I don't want to Google it, because I don't want to get spoilers for the game, so, yeah. I don't know, I just saw it in some random comment on the very few minutes I've seen of Cold Steel 4 in English. So, I'm not gonna trust it, because it's like, it's just like, only one person made that comment out of, like, the many that watched that stream, so, yeah. And also can't wait. And also, most of all, I really want Crossbow to be localized. I want the characters to have official voice actors. I mean, we already have like a good number of Crossbow characters with official voice actors as it is, but I mean, like some of the characters that I don't think will reappear in 4, I actually have no idea. I have to find out myself. I'm tempted to Google it. I'm tempted to search it up to see who returns, like specifically. But I can't just do that because I'll get spoiled. I don't want to get spoilers. I'll be sad. Although, for the most part, I really hope Crossbow gets localized. I'm wondering if, like, NIS America might announce something this year. Like, it doesn't have to come out this year, just, like, at any time, like, I want to know when it will happen. Like, we'll just have to wait and see. Also, that kind of reminds me, when they announced Cold Steel 4, it did happen on April 1st. So when I saw a post, I was like, nope, I'm not gonna believe it yet. Because I was like, don't get my hopes up. But then I kind of let it sit for a while, because, you know, I wanted to wait to see if it's true, and of course it is. Like, I saw more of it, and then, I think NIS America uploaded the trailer proper, like a couple hours, like, at least like a few minutes or an hour late. A few minutes or an hour later, I'm not sure. And then I just started freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's real. It's actually getting localized. Yes! I was so happy. Oh, and also speaking of which, you know, okay, I did briefly mention that the ending of Cold Steel 3 was... I forgot what I said earlier, but it was like, I think it made me emotional or something. Okay. Imagine how, like, the fans in Japan must have felt when that happened and they actually had to wait that entire year for Cold Steel 4. I mean, like, some English fans who would immediately want to jump into the next game, like, they could just check out the fan translation, like, or just watch videos on it. Like, right after Cold Steel 3. But, like, for people in Japan who actually have played the games, like, as they came out, as you know, they actually had to wait that entire year. So... Okay, I'm trying to figure things out here. So yeah, basically, like, people, like, in Japan actually had to wait a year for Cold Steel 4 when they did play Cold Steel 3. But we are obviously we're sort of lucky that if we so desire, we watched a fan translation of 4, okay, get out of here now, the map. Anyways, yeah, so, like, English fans, as they so desire, they were, like, we're pretty lucky if we wanted to see, if we wanted to see the game, a year before it was, because at the time we didn't know, before it was, like, going to be released in English. Okay, okay, what other areas should I go to? I could do part-time ruins. You know what? Let's do that. I do want the, EXP. Also, my throat's kind of getting tired because I'm just talking for, hours. Well, not really. It's only been an hour, but... Okay, what else to talk about? I just want to keep talking about trails, but I think I talked about as much as I can about trails. Like, just my, just what I've been thinking about. Also, I'm just skipping through the dialogue here because I already played this a few times as it is. And, yeah, I think I'm supposed to get that. I'll talk about trails. I will say I can't get over the fact that I did intentionally spoil myself about a character. Because, think about it. After you see what happens at the end of Cold Steel 3, would you really want to just wait and find out? Well, I mean, people in Japan, at the time of its release, did actually have to wait a year. But, for someone like me, I don't think I could have handled that. So I'm glad I know the spoiler. And of course, even though I know the spoiler, I actually don't know the circumstances. It's like how I got spoiled of a certain thing from a certain series way before I actually saw it myself. And I couldn't forget the spoiler no matter what. Although in that case, that was actually a very serious spoiler that I didn't want to get spoiled about. Anyways, I kind of, derailed a bit from what I'm talking about. Okay, let me just skip this cutscene real quick. So anyways, for the case of, trails, the spoiler I know of is okay for me to know about. But, in this other case, it's different because I didn't, Okay, let me go skip through this. It's kind of distracting me. Okay, let me go accept all this quickly. But yeah, anyways, as I briefly mentioned, I did intentionally spoil myself of something related 4. And, I'm glad I did, because, as I was watching through the Sky trilogy, when I was in the 3rd game and watching it, I was like, I refuse to believe what happened in the 3rd Cold Steel game. So I did intentionally spoil myself of something, and I was fine with it because I wanted to know. I could not handle waiting. And it actually helped me wait for the game much more easier. Whatever I'm trying to say. It made the waiting, more at ease, in comparison to, not knowing and pretty much, having to suffer several days, not knowing what happened or anything in the story. I'm glad I know. But of course, even though I know what happened, what happens, I actually don't know the details about it, oh, this happened because insert reason here. Like, I actually don't know that. I only know about the fact that this, like, it does happen. Like, I just don't know the specifics, like what point of the game does it happen in, like, occur in, like, what, like, when, like, how far is it in the game, or anything. Like, stuff like that. I don't know it, but I know the basis of the information. And again, I'm okay with it. I guess the easiest way to put it is that when I find out, it's only going to be when I actually play through Cold Steel 4 myself. And of course, as I did briefly mention, it's kind of different from this other case where I got spoiled of something. Because the other case, it was much more serious spoiler, and I'm like, why did they spoil? And to provide context without saying the name of this series, so as you all know, things trend a lot on Twitter. So as per usual, it was trending. You would think Twitter description guy would just add, oh, people are discussing spoilers for so-and-so. Insert the series name here, basically. And here's the thing, it wasn't on the tag associated with the series. Well, it is, but it wasn't the name of the series, it was something else. And guess what they did? They outright wrote the spoiler of what happens in that trending tag. And guess what? Probably so many people have seen it, including me, so we're practically spoiled of that information. And recently I finally caught up with it, I guess. So I now have seen the moment that happens. And of course I didn't know the events surrounding it. I just know, like, the spoiler was basically like, oh, this happens, by the way. And I hated that so much. I was like, why? Like, people discuss the spoilers up for, like, all these other things. But for this one particular thing, you outright said what happens. And I'm like, why did you do that? It really sucks because you can't just block every tag. Because this wasn't the name of the series. It was something more specific. And it really annoyed me to no end that happened. Again, it's all in the past now, but I'm still mad that they probably spoiled more, like, so many people because of that tiny little thing, like that description they made. Yeah, I managed to cool my head after a while, so. Of course, I should remind myself that when my friend catches up with it, I should tell her what I specifically got spoiled about. I'm not gonna say it yet because she hasn't caught up with it, so, I can't say it. Tempting, but, you know, we have to respect the no spoiler rule. And, of course, that's very important. Don't spoil. If people don't want spoilers, respect that. And don't, like, be vague about it, like, oh, I can't wait for this person to react to this. No, don't be like that. Which is why, like, with, like, trails... Okay, I didn't mention character reappearances, but I'm pretty sure that's not really, like, actually a spoiler. Because, like, I mean, people have seen the promotional material, so, like, even if they played the games or not, they would have known which characters reappear or not. Of course, when it comes to specific reappearances, they're not actually, like, shown. Because I do know this one spoiler, and of course none of the promotional stuff actually exposed it, so it's pretty safe, like, so no worries. Oh, I wonder, okay, I'm just thinking about the pre-order stuff for Cold Steel War, and I think they do kind of have a... I know that it comes with, like, these art cards or something, and I wonder if, like, there probably is a spoiler in there. I didn't... Oh, yeah, that's another spoiler I'm aware of, but, I kind of just don't really care about it because I'm like, well, I don't like this person anyway, so, in the story, so... I'm sure no one does. I mean, no one started to like the character since Cold Steel 2, so... I'm not gonna say it either way. I'm just, like... I'm not gonna say it either way, so... I'll keep quiet. And, I also don't remember too much, so, it's also, partially that. I'm level 40. 140. I can't speak. Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. Organizing some things. Point index. Okay, there we go. There's some points. Wait, do I have any equipment? Okay, let me go see. Wait, I know. Huh, okay. Just some basic items to put on my character here. Okay, that should be good enough for now. Wait, do I have anything else? No, this... Okay. Anyways, let's continue. Okay, I kind of want to see if I could finish the surprise mission. And then I'll end it. Oh, and there. Okay, I'll go on a tiny bit longer, though. Okay, the water life dried up. So I have to actually loot. Okay, I think I still have like, okay. A random free pet to use. Okay. Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think I have much more to say because I pretty much just talk about as much as I want about like what went on and like what I was thinking about and all that. Again, I am still salty that I did get spoiled about something I didn't want to get spoiled on for. I am still very salty. And I am preventing myself from saying the name, so I don't get anyone commenting, oh yeah, this happens, related to the series. So... I'm so mad about that. It's like, why did the description person on Twitter do that? Like, there's like a huge contrast there. Like, for like a lot of the things, they just wrote people discuss spoilers about, name of series here. But for this one specific thing, they outright wrote the spoiler. I'm like, why? Why did they do that? The thing is, I did make press not interested for the trending when that happens. But I already saw what happened, and it's like, I already saw the text, and it was too late. Of course, people would tell me, it's like, well, why did you go on Twitter that day? Well, I didn't know. Like, how was I supposed to know when, like, this particular thing was going to happen? Like, I can't read minds. I can't, like, I don't know, I don't keep up with the schedule of things for, like, some things. So it's like, how was I supposed to know? But yeah, I feel like next time something like this happens, I should probably avoid Twitter for, a few hours and, be careful. Because I don't want that to happen again. Because, people... Yeah, they like to spoil. I don't get it sometimes. It's like, when it comes to specific things, people are like, okay, we're not gonna spoil this, we're gonna be respectful. But then for some other things, they're like, hey, look at this, says the spoiler outright. And I'm like, why? Why are people like this? Be respectful of spoilers. Yeah, so whenever my friend catches up to it, I will actually tell her what the spoiler is. Like, that I got spoiled on. Well, it wouldn't be a spoiler anymore after that point, but I will tell her what it is when she does. Finish this. EXP. I really want to get a lot of my alt characters to 200 though, so I could have the double S rank on the Legion. Of course, it'll take a while because there's a lot. I think what I should do next is try to get my Hoyoung to level 200, because there is a story quest I want to do there. Actually, I'll do all the story quests at once then, when I get there. I haven't yet because my Hoyoung is at level 175, so it will be a while. Now that I think about it, when I talked about trying to level my Hoyoung to 200, I think it was around the time I did Yum Yum Island. Like when I was like, I should probably level my character to 200. And that was like months ago. So it's like, well, that aged well. But in all seriousness, I should probably like try to level that character so I could do that quest. Well, more like quest, like plural, because I'm actually gonna stop like doing the required quest and actually get to like I want to get to 200 first and then do those because I want to see the rest of it and stream it when I do. Try to loot this. Okay. Gonna finish this quest and then end it. Okay, come on, just a few more enemies. There you go. Okay, I'm not gonna set the other quest yet. Because I am going to end it off here for today. So basically, just a simple little stream today. Might make it regular for like Monday to be streaming days until my classes are over. And then I go back to Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays occasionally, again. It kind of depends because, you know, I'm bad at scheduling all this stuff in the first place, so, yeah. Anyways, I need to plan this stream, these kind of Maple streams better when it's just level grinding, because I spend 30 minutes trying to decide which one of my characters I want to play today, and it was a difficult decision. So, hopefully next time I actually decide which character I want to play on stream. So I don't waste so much time again trying to decide. But, I'll save that on my own time because that's, yeah. It's just easier so I could figure out what to do. I have every character, like, class related, in this game created. So, it's like 40, I think like 44, I don't know. It's some number, I don't know. Anyways, ow. Yeah, so basically today I talked about a bunch of stuff while I level grinded. I got a pretty decent amount of levels, like 6 levels on this character. I do play this game quite slow, because I don't really, like, do buffs too much. But, it's not so bad. It's pretty fun. And I think that's it for, Maple-related stream content. But anyways, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all next time.